السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين آمنوا ولم يلبسوا إيمانهم بظلم أولئك لهم الأمن وهم مهتدون. وتلك حجتنا آتيناها إبراهيم على قومه نرفع درجات من نشاء إن ربك حكيم عليم. ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب كلا هدينا ونوحا هدينا من قبل ومن ذريته داود وسليمان وأيوب ويوسف وموسى وهارون وكذلك نجزي المحسنين. وزكريا ويحيى وعيسى وإلياس كل من الصالحين. وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا وكلا فضلنا على العالمين. ومن آبائهم وذرياتهم وإخوانهم واجتبيناهم وهديناهم إلى صراط مستقيم. ذلك هدى الله يهدي به من يشاء من عباده ولو أشركوا لحبط عنهم ما كانوا يعملون. أولئك الذين آتيناهم الكتاب والحكم والنبوة فإن يكفر بها هؤلاء فقد وكلنا بها قوما ليسوا بها بكافرين. أولئك الذين هدى الله فبهداه مقتده قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إن هو إلا ذكرى للعالمين. وما قدروا الله حق قدره إذ قالوا ما أنزل الله على بشر من شيء قل من أنزل الكتاب الذي جاء به موسى نورا وهدى للناس تجعلونه قراطيس تبدونها وتخفون كثيرا وعلمتم ما لم تعلموا أنتم ولا آباؤكم قل الله ثم ذرهم في خوضهم يلعبون. وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك مصدق الذي بين يديه ولتنذر أم القرى ومن حولها والذين يؤمنون بالآخرة يؤمنون به وهم على صلاتهم يحافظون. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو قال أوحي إلي ولم يوحى إليه شيء ومن قال سأنزل مثل ما أنزل الله ولو ترى إذ الظالمون في غمرات الموت والملائكة باسطوا أيديهم أخرجوا أنفسكم اليوم تجزون عذاب الهون بما كنتم تقولون على الله غير الحق وكنتم عن آياته تستكبرون. ولقد جئتمونا فرادا كما خلقناكم أول مرة وتركتم ما خولناكم وراء ظهوركم وما نرى معكم شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء لقد تقطع بينكم وضل عنكم ما كنتم تزعمون. إن الله فالق الحب والنوى يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ذلكم الله فأنى تؤفكون فالق الإصباح وجعل الليل سكنا والشمس والقمر حسبانا ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم صدق الله العظيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
والصلاة القائمة سيدنا محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وبعث اللهم المكرم المحمود الذي وعدته إلى ثلاثة أيام.
Yes. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
نسيت مقبل الوسيلة والفضيلة والطريق الرفيع وحق اللهم المقام المحمود الذي وأكبر والدخل
الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. وقال الله تعالى في الكتاب المجيد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Indeed, praise is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's, and we ask that He send peace and blessings on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who is the opener of that which was closed with His rahmah, who is the seal of all of the prophets who went before him, who is the one who gave victory to Allah by Allah, who is the guide on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's straight path. We ask on His family there be peace and blessings to the level of His greatness, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brothers and sisters, Allah says in the Quran, O you who believe, believing men, believing women, have the taqwa of Allah, have the God consciousness of Allah, meaning be aware that Allah is aware of you. And then He says, do not die, don't leave the world except in a state of submission, which means a state of Islam. May Allah make us amongst those who have taqwa in all moments of our lives and allow us to enter into the next life in the state of God consciousness. Ameen. In 1890, there was a man named William James. William James. They called William James the father of psychology. Okay? And one of the most profound concepts that William James came up with is known as self-esteem. What does that mean, self-esteem? You can translate it as self-worth. It's what you think about yourself. In other words, it's how worthy of a person are you? how valuable of an individual am I? When we look at society today, society tells women, females, both young and old, that your value is in what you look like, right? If a female looks a certain way, then she's worthy. And proof of this is every time you go into the checkout aisle in the store and you look at the magazines, the women, let's be honest, the women are always shown in a certain way. They're always presented revealing their body, wearing certain revealing clothes, having certain body parts. This is a fact. And it's funny. I have a nephew and niece, 4 years old, 5 years old. They watch cartoons on YouTube, and it blows my mind. During the middle of a YouTube video about a cartoon, there's an advertisement with a woman dancing, and the product being sold has nothing to do with women. It could be for a car, it could be for a lawnmower, yet you have a half-clothed woman dancing on the screen. What does that have anything to do with the product? Society is telling women that if you look like this, you're worthy. Now, where's the proof for this? The National Association of Anorexia and Related Disorders, they did a study on women in the United States, okay? They did a study on women in the United States. This is what they found. That 9 out of 10 women were dissatisfied with the way that their body looked, and they were willing to go on an extreme diet to look like women in the media, women on magazine covers. And they continued this research, and this is what they found, that less than 5% of women ever actually get that body. You know why? Because majority of the images that you see on the billboard, I lived in Walnut, California. I'm aware of this. Majority of the images you see on the billboard, on the internet, on the TV, in magazines, they're fake. They're photoshopped. They're airbrushed. The women don't look like that. You can look this up. This is what society is telling women in the West. This is the message that they're getting, not just here, but in other parts of the world. In Venezuela, in 2013, a documentary was made. You can look this up. This is online on YouTube. You can watch it. 2013, a documentary was made in Venezuela. There was a man who used to make mannequins. He was a carpenter and used to make mannequins. For those that don't know what a mannequin is, it's a wooden plastic dummy, and you put clothes on it, and you let the mannequin model the clothes in your store. This man, he did something different. He said, one day this is what I'm going to do. He made all of the female mannequins have exaggerated body parts. He made all of the female mannequins look like the media women. Now, something remarkable happens in Venezuela that same year. The store owners, they get the mannequins, they put them in the shop, they put the clothes. Women are walking by, they look in the display cases, and they see the mannequins. That year in Venezuela, it's not the number of clothing sales that increased. It's not the number of mannequin sales that increased. The number of plastic surgeries skyrocketed. You had women, they lived on farms. They were willing to go into thousands of dollars of debt, just to get a plastic surgery. And the guy who made this documentary, the person behind filming this whole thing, he went to the wife of the carpenter. He went to the wife of the carpenter and he said, what's the craze? What's the hype behind all of this? And then she said this, she said, well, every woman would want those body parts. And then he said, but why? Why do you want those body parts? And this is what she said. She said, because if I had those body parts, it would make me feel good about myself. Indicating this woman believed that the only way she could feel good about herself, the only way she could feel valuable, is if she looked like a plastic dummy. This is problematic. This is what society tells women, but what about men? What about the males? You know, alhamdulillah, me and my friends, we go to the gym. We like to work out. We like to play basketball. We like to lift weights and whatnot. And one of the things I've noticed in the gym is that if you haven't made it to a certain muscularity level, if your muscles are not bulging out of your shirt, some people, they won't even look at you. They won't even acknowledge that you're there, right? They'll just walk right past you. They don't care if you need to use the machine, right? In the NFL, this is a true story, there was a guy, he made it from high school football, then he made it to college. He went from college to the NFL. He got to the NFL, he was doing well, making millions of dollars. He got injured. His knee got injured. Knee injuries are one of the worst injuries. He went, rehabilitated his knee, got surgery. When he comes back, he starts to play again. He gets injured again, second time, goes and gets surgery, repairs it. He comes back, playing football. He gets injured for the third time. He gets surgery. He can't run as fast as he used to. He's not agile as he used to be. His team cuts him. They waive him. You're fired. He loses his $1 million salary. He can no longer perform physically as he used to. One day, his family doesn't know where he is. They call the cops. The cops do an investigation. They can't find him. Talk to the teammates, the coaches. We don't know where he is. Eventually, the authorities go into a hotel. They knock on the door. No one answers. They break into the door. They find him in his hotel room where he shot and killed himself. All because he felt that he was no longer worthy because he couldn't physically excel like he used to. So if specifically to the youth here, to the young brothers, including myself, if we think that our worth is in our athletic, our physical ability, that's a problem. And I'll get to something else shortly. But the other message society will tell men, and alhamdulillah, I recently got married. May Allah bless my marriage. May Allah bless everyone's marriage. Make it filled with barakah, ameen. And for those who aren't married, may Allah get them married, ameen. The most common question that I got as a single American Muslim male from the potential father-in-laws, right? This is the most common question I got. I'll say it in Urdu, and then I'm going to translate it in English. This is what the potential father-in-law would ask me. He'd say, Beta, kitna paise banate ho tum? Right? Son, how much money do you make? Now, there's nothing wrong with a father wanting to make sure that son-in-law has financial stability. That's good. You should want. But if we think that someone's value is in how much money they make, that's a problem. Why is that a problem? Not too long ago, Los Angeles Clippers, they had an owner. His name was Donald Sterling. This man was a complete racist. He thinks that people of darker skin are less than people of lighter skin. And he was called out for this. But he was making millions of dollars. So with the logic that the more money you make, the more value you have, it would mean that that man who's a racist is better than most of us here. That man that probably makes more than some of us combined. That can't be true. And on the flip side, people say, well, if you don't make money, if you're poor, if you're not financially well off, then you're worthless. But let me ask you this, and answer this question to yourself. Who is the greatest man to ever live and walk the face of this earth? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But he chose, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he chose, Allah asked him, he would give him mountains of gold, but Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he chose to not live a materially extravagant life. It's described that his house, he barely had any things in his house, yet he was the greatest man, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is proof that wealth, money, material things are not an indication of your worth. And the last thing that I'm going to say, which society tells men their worth is in, specifically the young men, and I'll say it here in the masjid. It might be a little bit controversial, but alhamdulillah, we're here on Jumma. It's good to say it here. And that is this, that the more women you can have intimate relationships with, the more women you can get, right? The more chicks you can get, then the more of a man you become, right? The more of a dude, of as they say, the more macho you are. Imam Ghazali, rahmatullahi alayhi, this is what he said. Listen closely. If you believe that your worth is in the number of times you can copulate, then an animal is better than you. What does that mean? PBS, they did a study on monkeys. You can look this up. PBS, they did a study on monkeys. They found that chimpanzees, they don't have one spouse. They have multiple spouses, and they mate with them at the same time. National Geographic, they did a study, and they found this animal. It looks like a rat. It's about this big. It's a marsupial. It can mate for 12 hours, and then it dies. So if someone really thinks that their value is in the number of times they can have intimate relationships with, or as many girls they can get, then guess what? The animal has beaten us. And I don't know about some of the people out there, but I don't want to put my value, my worth in that. So the question is this: what determines your value? What is it that you should gauge your worthiness in? Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said something remarkable. And before I say this, I'm going to ask the brothers if you could please move just a little bit forward, even if it's just an inch. Fulfill the commandment. We have some brothers outside standing in the sun. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for moving up and coming in. Ameen. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said this: Allah does not look at your outward appearance or how much wealth you have. Rather, he looks at your hearts and the actions you do. In other words, all of this external stuff, what kind of car he drives, what kind of clothes she's wearing, how much money or what job this person, Allah's not necessarily looking at that. He's looking at something internal. When Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says Allah looks at the heart, notice he started with the heart and then he said your actions, because actions are based off your intention, which is in your heart. And somebody came up to me and this is true, this happened. They said, Brother Ali, you're telling me that Allah doesn't look at your outward appearance and my worth is not in beauty, so should I just eat donuts all day and become fat? And no, you shouldn't do that. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, Allah is beautiful and loves beauty. You can have a nice car, you can get fashionable clothes, you can have an excellent job, but be conscious of what you're doing with those things. Do it with ihsan, with a good intention, with excellence, with God consciousness of Allah. And the last thing I'll mention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. Verily, for sure, there's no argument about it. The most worthy person, the best person here amongst you is he or she who has the most taqwa, who has the most God consciousness in their heart, in their head. That is the determining factor. That's how you know your worth. It's not what society tells you. If my body looks like this, it's not what work tells you. If you get promoted to this position, then you're worthy. It's not what they're saying at school. It's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thinks of you. It's your taqwa, your level of God consciousness. And let me just say this, and I'll end the first part of the khutbah with this. No one can see your taqwa. No one knows how much taqwa he or she has. You can't judge someone. That's between themselves and Allah. With that said, this is a portion of the khutbah where we ask Allah for forgiveness. Please pray for my forgiveness, for your forgiveness, and the forgiveness of the ummah at large. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراط المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. Again, inshallah, if the brothers in the back could just move a little bit forward, I want to get the brothers inside. May Allah reward you. Ameen. I'm going to close with a story about a companion that most people have never heard of. We often hear about Umar radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr, Ali radiallahu anhum, but there was a man who lived at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was very short. They said he was physically repulsive. They didn't like to look at him, let's just put it that way. They made fun of him because he did not know who his parents were. And if you didn't know who your parents were, you had no lineage. And if you had no lineage during that time, you were worthless. The men made fun of him so much that he had to go and he would hang out with the women because they wouldn't make fun of him as much. They wouldn't teach him. This is before Allah revealed the ayat about the hijab. This man's name was Julaybib. Julaybib. He had a rough life. Nobody liked him, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam liked him. And one day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to get Julaybib married. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He walks to the house of an Ansari man. He knew this man had a daughter. He goes to the door. The man opens the door. The man is so excited because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is at the door, and he says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, I'm here to get your daughter married. The man is excited. You're going to marry my daughter? And he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, actually, no. I'm here to get your daughter married to Julaybib. At that moment, the man takes a step back and he said, let me go ask my wife. Let me see what she thinks. He goes to the wife. He says, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is here. He wants to get our daughter married. And she's excited. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wants to marry our daughter? And then he says, no, he wants to get her married to Julaybib. To Julaybib? I swear by Allah, I will never get our daughter married to Julaybi. That's it. It's over. That's it. The man goes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, Ya Rasulullah, I spoke to my wife and she didn't accept, so I'm sorry. Rasulullah, he leaves, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At this moment, the daughter comes into the room. The daughter says, wait, hold on, what's going on? I heard somebody was talking about me in marriage. And the mother says, yes, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came here and he wanted to get you married to Julaybi, but we didn't want it, so we said no. And the daughter says something remarkable. She says, are you seriously going to go against the advice, the recommendation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? I'm going to get married to Julaybi. And then one thing leads to another. Uthman radiallahu anhu, he sponsors the marriage. They get married. Now, a little time goes by, and the Muslims find themselves in a battle. There's a battle. The battle is over. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is true. He's going around to people. He's asking people, "Are you okay? Are you missing anyone from your family? We're okay. We're okay." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "I notice Julaybi is missing. Julaybi is missing. He himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he walks onto the battlefield and he's looking at the remains and he's looking at the bodies, and finally he comes and he finds the body of Julaybi, and around him, around Julaybi, there were 5 to 6 people from the opposing army, meaning he was able to defend himself from 6 people before he was martyred. And at this point, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he looks down at Julaybi and he says, "You are from me, and I am from you." And he starts to cry. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he starts to cry. And then he picks him up with his own hands. He takes him to the side and he digs his grave for him. The Prophet ﷺ then buried him. What does this have to do with self-esteem? What does this have to do with self-worth? When all of society thought that Julaybi was worthless, that he had no lineage, that he wasn't physically attractive, that he was short, whatever, the Prophet ﷺ, he knew that this man was something great. He loved this man. He knew his value. Why? Because Julaybi, he loved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he loved Allah. And that's the amazing thing about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that anyone he met, he knew their true value, and he made them feel like they were the most important person in the world. And they weren't. Because their value was in their taqwa, in their love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So brothers and sisters, there's 2 things I want to say and I want to leave you with today. And that is the first, that if you think that your value is in something material, in what you own, if you think your value is in what your physical capability is, or how much money you make, or what you look like, or where you're from, that's not what your value is in. Your value is in the level of taqwa you have, the God consciousness you have in your heart. And the second thing is this: if you know someone personally that is feeling down, that has confused their gauge for what determines their worth, call them up, remind them of who they are. Make them feel how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would make other people feel, how he would uplift them. So with that said, brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who are God consciousness and leave this world in a state of Islam. Ameen. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. Also, please include the brother of Brother Anwar who just passed away. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter him into the highest level of paradise, and may he see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam every day in Jannah. Ameen. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wa aqim as-salah.
Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Hayya ala salat, Hayya ala falah, qad qamat as-salat, qad qamat as-salah. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah.
دائما ابدا لا اله الا الله. استقيموا واعتدلوا استووا تراصوا ترحموا. Brothers, can you come forward a little bit? Just one step ahead, please. Somebody outside. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهم ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks, Brother Ali and me. Ali here representing CARE organization. He will be outside available on the table. next week, Momin will give the khutbah. Next week also we will have a family night. Brother Muhammad Atiyah will be giving a lecture. Fundraising for your masjid for the new building is happening, inshallah, October 4th on Sunday in Palaswaris, and information is being distributed and it's outside available. So get a flyer so you'll get acquainted, you'll get all the information, you can participate. As you can tell and you can observe, you can go and visit. MashaAllah, your new building is coming up very, very fast. And we all have to join hands to make it happen and construct the building. Yard sale will happen, inshallah, next week, Saturday and Sunday, on the masjid grounds. So participate in that. Quran class, our own Qari Anas Daghameen is giving the Quran class, mashallah. So participate in the Quran class, bring your children. Weekend school starts on the 5th, which is tomorrow and Sunday. Eid al-Adha is scheduled for 21st. Please confirm with the masjid office. There will be carnival on 26th of this month at the masjid grounds. Visit our website. Go with our webcam is capturing the khutbas and all the lectures, so you can see them live. Live streaming is happening, and the lanes marked as the fire lanes. Fire marshal had come in a couple of days ago. Some people, for whatever reason, parked their car here and there and there in a haphazard way. You are not allowed. Your cars will be put away. The fire marshal said he's going to fine us. So keep the fire lanes and the human lanes clear. He wants people with standing or walking. Cars cannot be parked over there. So don't get in a habit of parking your car illegal. Lunch is being served outside, so please purchase the lunch. I'll ask our chef and the imam to say the dua for sick and disease. Among sick people, Sadia Kamal, she is ill. So please pray for her recovery. And Kausar Himayu and Brother Mahmood, they are ill. Please pray for them. Our own dear brother, Anwar Khan's younger brother, Tahir Khan, passed away last Saturday morning. And we buried him in Orange County. We also had a Khatma Quran in the masjid. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him in Jannah. And inshallah, our Imam says,
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على مولانا وحبيبنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم يا رب لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا يوافي نعمك ويكافئ مزيدا. اللهم يا رب لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت. ولك الحمد عند الرضا ولك الحمد بعد الرضا ولك الحمد على كل حال يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا لنعمتك من الشاكرين. اللهم اجعلنا لنعمتك من الشاكرين وعلى البلاء من الصابرين وعلى البلاء من الصابرين. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا. اللهم عافنا واعف عنا. اللهم بفضلك اكرمنا ومن اشرار خلقك سلمنا وعلى غيرك لا تكلنا. اللهم اعطنا من خزائنك التي لا تفنى. اجعل لنا من كل عسر يسرا ومن كل هم فرجا ومن كل ضيق مخرجا. اللهم ارزقنا من حيث لا نحتسب. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الاحياء منهم والاموات. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا. اللهم اشفهم انت الشافي لا شفاء الا شفاء شفاء لا يغادر سقما. اللهم ارحم موتانا واسكنهم فسيح جنانك. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم. اللهم انا نعوذ بك من العجز والكسل ونعوذ بك من البخل والجبن ونعوذ بك من الفقر ونعوذ بك من عذاب القبر ونعوذ بك من غلبة الدنيا وقهر الرجال. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.
Please